Wall dashing is on the rise in Rocket League, and it's not for no reason. Wall dashes have been proven to not just be useful at the pro level, but at the everyday ranked level, like in your games too. The problem is, most tutorials explain this like a bad game of telephone. They don't break down the buttons, they don't break down the order, and sometimes they even say to do stuff that they're not doing on their controller overlays. All that leads to a lot of misinformation, and it ends with you wasting your time and you not knowing what you're supposed to do. That's why I'm breaking down the wall dash from scratch. We're gonna start with a little bit of an easier method that helped me hit my first wall dash in a matter of minutes, and then we'll go over common mistakes and how to fix them. By the end of this video, you're gonna know where to start learning wall dashes on the wall for the fastest results. I'll talk about my 2-click method that makes it consistent, and I'll go over a technique that I've been using from my Minecraft days that will speed up your wall dashes. And the reason I can guarantee this stuff works is because I actually taught a class to my paid adult members. So yes, a group of unks, and I'll literally be showing you how I showed them how to wall dash in less than 60 minutes. And on that note, if you are an adult who plays Rocket League and you're 18 plus, I actually run the #1 coaching service in Rocket League for people like you. Yes, me and my team of pros, including some of the GOATs of Rocket League, like former world champion Torment and more, we specialize in helping 18 plus players save time and improve faster through one-on-one coaching and our adult members club. So if you're 18 plus, check out the link below to work with me and my team. I'll have all the details, all the pricing, all the info on the page. And if you're below 18 or you're just not ready yet and you want access to my free Discord with other players for all ages, I've got structured guides, almost 4 hours of content for free, organized on my Metafy and in my Discord, all my settings, all the free stuff. First link in the description below. Let's get into it. Okay, let's start with section 1. This is the 2-click method. I want to start by demystifying the wall dash, because in order to understand how the wall dash works, you need to know what it is. Wall dashing looks complicated, but all it is a sideways wave dash. It looks fast, but all we're doing is wave dashing off and back onto the wall. To do a wall dash, we use exactly 2 clicks of our jump button. Some tutorials will tell you to click jump as fast as you can or to spam the button, but that's not quite right. Spamming the button is going to cause you to be out of control or accidentally jump off the wall after you wall dash. So remember, throughout this whole breakdown, it's just 2 jumps. 1 to jump off the wall, 1 to jump back on. Okay, that's the high level. Now let's get into the step-by-step. Section 2, the foundation, starting on the curve. Here's the sort of shortcut I promised you. Most tutorials show you wall dashes way high up on the wall, sometimes even above the goal. While doing wall dashes there is perfectly fine, starting there is like learning on hard mode. The cheat method is to start on the curve. I'm talking about the bottom part of the wall where it meets the ground. The curve is way more forgiving because the physics work in your favor here. You'll have more time to use your second jump without falling off the wall. So even if you're slower at first, you can still dash in time, which makes it the best place to learn wall dashes. Once you can hit wall dashes consistently on the curve of the wall, then you can test your speed by going higher up the wall. Section 3, the step-by-step. Let's get into the details about how exactly to do the wall dash in the most efficient way to make it consistent for you. Here's where most tutorials get it wrong, so pay close attention. If we're on the right wall, most tutorials will tell you to push your joystick left, then right, then back to center. That's not exactly wrong, but it's not specific enough, and it's why I was inconsistent at first. The mistake that 90% of players make is they push their joystick to the barrier. So I'm talking about moving your joystick all the way to the left to the edge until it clicks, and then all the way to the right to the edge until it clicks. What I'm saying is don't do that. Instead, we need to input that left-right movement in the center of our left stick. So we keep our joystick in the center. We jump first when we're headed down the wall. We jump second when we're headed up the wall. Really quickly, it looks like this. This is not like a speed flip where you push up all the way, then down all the way to cancel. Instead, we're staying in the center of the controller. Let's bring this all together with some examples. When the wall is on your right, you shimmy left, right, then let go of your joystick. When it's on your left, you shimmy right, then left. Just remember, we're going down the wall, up the wall. Wall dashes are easier to do when you're going fast. So the higher you are up the wall and the less speed we have, the harder these dashes are to do. When you get good at them, you can do them consistently anywhere, but it's easiest when you have boost and you're ramping up the wall, down low here. On to section 4, the balance check. Let's talk about how to know if you're doing this right. If you're falling off the wall entirely, there are two things that might be going wrong. This could be your joystick being too slow, so you're pushing it too far to the barrier or not moving it quick enough. Or number 2, it could be that you're inputting the jumps too slow. We'll talk about these in a second. If you notice you're climbing up the wall or climbing down the wall, that means you're not letting go of your joystick or bringing it back to the center at the end. For example, if you're on the right wall and you notice you're climbing up the wall, that means you're pushing your joystick to the right after you wall dash. Or if you're falling down the right wall after you wall dash, that means you're pushing it to the left. When you're doing it correctly, you'll stay level on the wall. That's how you know your timing is perfect. Okay, moving on to section number 5, the jitter click. The jitter click method is my secret weapon for speed, and it's the solution to the problem we had earlier of not hitting jump fast enough. For me, this jump speed has always been my limiting factor with wall dashes. Let me explain what I'm talking about. Normally, what I do when I'm playing the game, I hold my right thumb over all of the inputs like this. So if you look at my controller overlay here, you'll see my thumb kind of sits on X on my PS4 controller, and I reach up to press ball cam. I click over here to arrow left. I click over here to arrow right. But the key here is my thumb is pretty flat. This is okay, but when it comes to wall dashing, I found a little bit of a better way. I've been arching my thumb like this and then jitter clicking. I haven't seen anybody else talk about this, but jitter clicking comes from my background as a Minecraft YouTuber. So a little bit of a side tangent. For those of you who don't know, I started off as a Minecraft YouTuber for over 10 years. When I was 12 years old, I was making Minecraft videos. In Minecraft, I learned jitter clicking was how you would attack faster with your sword. So instead of using your finger to click like this, like flat normally, you'd arch your finger and you would flick it at the wrist like this, okay? In other words, the movement of clicking is coming from our wrist, right? And this arch rather than our finger coming up and down. Now, if you're young and handsome, like apparently Jack, you might not need this method, but if you're older or you're an unk like me, this helped me wall dash way more consistently. Section 6, practice progression. Step 1 is master the curve. Spend 10 or 15 minutes just on the bottom part of the wall until you can hit 8 out of 10 wall dashes consistently. Step 2 is you move up gradually. Try wall dashes at different heights, like at the middle of the wall or even above the goalpost, but always go back to the curve when you're struggling. Step 3 is to add the jitter click technique if you're struggling with speed. This is advanced, but once you get it, your speed will increase dramatically. And then step number 4 is practice chaining wall dashes. Just remember, you need 2 jumps for every dash. So if you want to do 1 dash, that's 2 jumps, 2 dashes is 4 jumps, 3 dashes is 6 jumps, etc., etc. This is where you'll see if you really understand the speed and the timing of this mechanic. And lastly, if you're struggling with any of these steps, it's okay. Let's talk about a proper timeline for how long this should take to learn, because I think setting expectation on this kind of stuff is really important, and I don't want you to quit before you get it. So here's what I tell my students. In terms of difficulty, I would rank the wall dash somewhere in the intermediate range, but in my opinion, it's easier to learn than a speed flip. So if I were you, I would break this up into 20 to 30 minute practice sessions, and you should be hitting your first wall dash, at least on that bottom curve, within the first day or 2. If you're not, you're probably doing a mistake in this video, so go back, double check your steps, and don't be discouraged if it takes longer. And if you're still having trouble, or this video is just playing in the background while you train since you're watching it from the intro, you can also submit clips of your wall dashes to my free Discord server. We just crossed over 55,000 members, which is insane to say out loud. And I'm sure if you submit clips, other members will take a look and tell you what you're doing wrong. And let me know in the comments how long it takes you to learn and what mechanic you want me to break down in the future, because I actually made this video thanks to a top voted comment on my last one. Until then, that's a lot of self promos and stuff. Click the video on screen, check out the other recovery techniques, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.
Yeah, I'd just like to say, Luke, I'm hitting them now pretty consistent.
You're hitting them now consistent. Awesome.
Yeah.